can't make me the goat. Cookie can't come with the throat. Puff, puff, pass. No, you do not want this.
Hola, mi gente, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another episode of Conspiracy Time. So for today's conspiracy, we are going to be talking about the conspiracy that is surrounding Mount Rushmore. And I recently just found out about this, and during my research I was not able to find very much about the conspiracy. So what I'm going to be doing is telling you guys about what I was able to find and then implement some of my own ideas as to what the conspiracy is about. So basically my own conspiracy on top of the conspiracy that I was able to find. So Mount Rushmore is a huge monument of 4 U.S. presidents in a mountain in South Dakota. So it is built right onto the mountain. So the artist who came up with the whole concept after being hired to do this, his name was Borglum, and what he wanted to do was to build this monument, Mount Rushmore, as a way to basically tell future generations what is basically the importance of the United States history, and to tell future generations, to not forget about the past history. Past history is important to the future, and that was the whole goal of building Mount Rushmore. Now, while he was building Mount Rushmore, he had bigger ideas in store. He wanted to do more than just the 4 heads. He wanted to actually, kind of make a museum in a way. So what he was doing behind Abraham Lincoln's head is there was this huge chamber. Now, his idea for this huge chamber is called the Hall of Records. That is what he called it. And it is pretty self-explanatory because the Hall of Records was basically meant to store all of the most important documents in the United States. So that would include the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and etc. It would basically have all of the most important documents and items to the United States history in the Hall of Records. So while he was building Mount Rushmore and working on the chamber, the Hall of Records, he actually passed away. His son then took over and finished Mount Rushmore, but they did not finish the chamber. So a long time went by, about 40-50 years went by, until his family, Borglum's family, said, you should finish the chamber. They said that to the United States government, and it took them a little while, but they did eventually get the United States government to agree to finishing the chamber, the Hall of Records. And they also wanted to, add a part in the Hall of Records that would talk about Borglum and his ideas and his, his whole future, what it would have been if he had not passed away, what he would have wanted this place to look like, because it was his whole idea, his whole concept that was, leading the design and the whole project. So the chamber was completed in the 90s, and from there, his family really wanted them to go ahead with what he had planned. He wanted to put the most important things to United States history in there. So what they did end up putting in there was, yes, a memorial for Borglum, because he was the man who did this. So they did do that. What the United States government then did is get exact copies of their most important documents: the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, etc. And some of the most important items, some of the most important artifacts of the United States history, they got exact replicas of them, and that is what's actually displayed in the Hall of Records. So it's not the actual Constitution, none of that's actually in there, because what the government says is that it's too unstable, and if if it all crumbles down, there goes everything. So that's their explanation for why they do not have anything that is actually, real in the Hola records. Once they were completely finished, they had all of the replicas and they had his memorial in there. The United States government actually closed off the chamber to anyone. The only people who are allowed to go into the chamber are government workers, and if you are, say, someone from the media, you have to have special clearance, you have to ask for permission, they have to grant it to you, and then from there you're really only able to see a limited amount of things. So the chamber is closed off to the public, and it is basically unknown, much of it. There is a video from, I forgot who it was, I think it was the History Channel, but they were able to see part of it, and they were able to see part of the replicates of their artifacts and the documents, but that's basically it. They weren't able to see the whole thing. So that is the background on Mount Rushmore. So I am pretty sure that you guys can already tell where this is going. We have a whole secret chamber that is behind Abraham Lincoln's head at Mount Rushmore, and no one is allowed in there. There is no recording really of what it is, what's in there. So there's lots of mystery surrounding the chamber. So of course conspiracies were made because there's mystery surrounding what's in the chamber. Why is it closed off to the public? During my research, basically what I was able to find and see about the current conspiracies surrounding the chamber, they are basically all of the most popular conspiracies, and they're in Mount Rushmore. That's how they put it. So the first one is, of course, aliens. So lots of people kind of think that Mount Rushmore and this chamber, it's a perfect hiding spot for anything that the US government wants to hide. People don't even know that there's a chamber. The chamber is very, you don't even know. I didn't even know that there was a chamber behind Mount Rushmore until a couple days ago. They do not teach you this in school. They don't teach you this anywhere, really. So people don't really know that there's even a chamber there. It's very, very hidden that there is a chamber there. So the US government's well, it's a perfect place to put things, people will not question. So they said, of course, that's where they're hiding the aliens, Like I've said in my previous conspiracy time video, I do not believe that they are hiding aliens, obviously, at Area 51 or anything that has to do with extraterrestrial life and transportation at Area 51, because it is so well known. So what people are saying here is that, it's hidden there because it is so unknown. People do not know about the chamber, so it's a perfect hiding spot for that. Another of the conspiracies is that everything that is connected to JFK and Martin Luther King Jr., their assassinations, all of the documents are hidden there. They're hidden in that chamber because, it's perfect. It's a hall of chamber, and obviously those types of hidden things, the government does not want us to know. So if it collapses, it's all gone, and oh well. So that's one of the conspiracies that people have, that they have, the dirt that they don't want to come out to the public in there, because if it ever does crumble, if it ever does fall, you're going to lose all of this dirt that they never even wanted us to see in the first place. So that's one of the conspiracies, that they think that they don't want us to see, so they put them in there, because if Mount Rushmore decides to fall apart, you can't blame it on the government. But there are a couple other things that I do want to bring up. And while I was researching this, people were saying that, Mount Rushmore, it could be a possible monument, sign of white supremacy. And I see where they're coming from, and I do kind of agree with that. I do agree, but there are some things that we do not exactly know, for certain, is set in stone yet. So one of them is that Borglum apparently was part of the KKK. We do not know, but there are KKK members and groups around Mount Rushmore. And whenever, a media group goes to interview them, they ask them, about Borglum, like, well, hey, was he in your group? Was he part of the KKK? Was he doing anything with you guys? Like, did he have friends who were in there so you guys knew him? And they never say yes, but they always say that they knew him very well. So people assume that, he was part of it. So there's probably like a cult type thing, attached to Mount Rushmore. Maybe the chamber could be where, they met. So there's a lot that is very fuzzy about his history. They haven't really put it out there. So that's why people are, questioning, what did he do? Was he part of the KKK? The KKK is very friendly about him, and, they don't never talk bad about him. So it's very unknown, We don't know his past all that well. So that is another one of the conspiracies that I kind of put together because of, what I was seeing online. But that is actually it, you guys. That is everything that I have. That's it. There's not very much that you can find, and lots of the time conspiracies are hidden back because, there's always these stories saying, you guys are crazy, so it's kind of hard to sometimes find information. But I did find what I was able to find, and it wasn't very much, but it was something. And I am very interested in this, so I might be doing a part 2 when I'm able to find more information, because like I said, the chamber is a secret. People are very secretive about it. The government is very secretive about it, so we don't know very much about it. But if I do find more, I will be doing a part 2, of course. But if you guys did enjoy this conspiracy time, please make sure to leave a like. And if you are new to my channel and you enjoyed this conspiracy time, I would really love it for you to subscribe and join my family. But that is it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Conspiracy Time, and until next time, adios, mi gente.
I'm in them beans for